after the season he had. It's just, I'm in New York. I'm going to pop by later today.
That's it. We got the best guest.
Rusher?
We got the NFL's leading rusher coming on,
and the best boxer in the world.
Thank you.
And we're going to golf with
Thank you. Hello.
We're golfing with
Kareem Hunt?
I think so.
No kidding.
Is he a big golfer?
I
Likes
read
the
that
links?
somewhere. I'm not, obviously. We're not golfers, but it's time for the lead block.
Lead block.
All right, these three guys are without question my three guys, my favorite guys in the business, Kyle, Peter, and Nate. But I'm going to use that three to come up with a little game of top three or not. All right, guys, I have some hot topics around the league. These are not easy. Do not be mad about it, but we should have some fun, yeah?
Yeah, let's roll.
Okay, so you're going to either pick one paddle that says top three or one that says nah. And I want to start with this question. Are the Rams a top three team in the NFC or nah?
I'm going to go with the nah or nah. How do I say nah?
You say nah. The world says nah.
Yeah, and I would say nah, not yet. No, it's very fun to talk about. It's very exciting, especially if this Odell thing goes crazy. But no, not yet. The NFC is too loaded. I'm not going to disrespect New Orleans, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Carolina, Atlanta. In the AFC, they could be a top two team. NFC's too much of a gauntlet. Not yet.
I'll say yes, top three. Now, here's the thing. You mentioned the Eagles. We're not going to disrespect them. Of course, they are the champs. New Orleans, they stayed intact. They have everything coming
awesome.
back. Vikings, even though it's a quarterback, it is a change. And not every change works right away. Kirk Cousins will be successful. But what if it doesn't happen right away? I do feel like what will happen right away is the success of this offense. Oh, not to mention that crazy defense that they're building in the offseason. So with everything that they've done in this offseason and then building off the momentum of last year, yeah, I'm going top three.
So you're saying they're better than the Falcons right now, who beat them?
Yes.
With all the additions made?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to...
Yes.
That's the only way it can be played.
I'm going with nah as well. I think the Eagles will get the respect right away. Defending champions, they don't lose that much off their team. I think the Vikings added. I think they're a team. And then the third spot, it could be these guys, but Saints, red hot, right? Falcons beat them. And I'll throw a team out there that no one's talking about. Green Bay Packers get Aaron Rodgers back. So to me, I can't put them in the top three yet. I'm saying no.
Guys, they added Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters, two of the best DBs that go get the ball.
It'll probably work.
And they step around again.
The same reason
they got Sue and Donald.
The same reason you're taking the Vikings out of this is the same reason I would not put the Rams in it yet. You're saying they have a new quarterback. We don't know how that's going to fit up there in Minnesota. We don't know how these new guys are necessarily going to fit in that locker room.
A new quarterback
on the field.
A new quarterback touching the ball every play, replacing a guy in Case Keenum who had an unbelievable year with rhythm and chemistry with the team is a lot different than defensive guys that are on the defensive side of the ball just
talking
trying to
just
make a play.
Minnesota then. I still got Carolina, I got New Orleans, I got Atlanta. I mean, there's loaded NFC teams. I love the Rams, just not yet. Show me something.
Tell you what, though,
show me one game.
If they add Odell Beckham, that offense, McVay,
or maybe it hurts the
Hurley,
team.
and
Would
Beckham.
you change?
No, I need to see.
Beckham?
If they add Odell.
Hey, adding Beckham might hurt the team.
Okay.
Truly, that might make them worse. We don't know yet, and I'm not doing anything until I see something. Nah. That's the name
See
of the
something, say something.
Speaking of Beckham, top three or nah, Beckham's a top three wide receiver in the league. Oh.
Yeah, I'll start off because I'm a wide receiver. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to start off because I believe this with a lot of conviction. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it goes Antonio, Julio, Odell.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. All right, so here's the thing. I do believe when Odell is healthy and he's on the field, his ability to run routes from the outside, inside, catch the ball with his hands, that slant route, I don't believe there's any other receiver that runs a better slant route than him in the game. But with him being injured last year, I don't give guys credit that were banged up because I've been there before. Coming off an injury, I don't automatically say I'm one of the best because I feel like the following season I have to earn my right to be mentioned with the best. So even though I love Odell, you guys know I'll jump on the table for the guy. I'm going to say nah right now because you do have Antonio Brown. You got Julio Jones. Actually, give me this. Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, A.J. Green.
Okay.
Then we'll talk about Odell.
Wow.
But when he gets back on the field and he dominates, I'll give him that spot back. But you don't give an injured guy that credit over guys that played all year and balled out.
This is complicated, as everything is with Odell.
You're like,
It is. No, it's truly. If you're talking about going into a season, and I'm going to have Odell Beckham Jr. for a season, nah. Because I would rather have a Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins. I know what I'm getting week. Even going into a game, I don't know what I'm going to get.
You'd rather have Keenan Allen than Odell Beckham Jr.?
Yes.
For a whole season, like
whole season. Now listen to me.
and-
If I have a 3rd and 12, and I'm going to spread them 3 wide, and I got one play for my season, hell yes. I'm going Julio, AB, and Odell. But I don't know what's happening in the next play or the next quarter. So no, that's my answer right here. Top 3 is prime real estate. There's some damn good receivers in this league. No, I haven't seen him in a year, and he's too undependable in between the years.
Will you give me your top 3?
Yeah, sure. I would go Julio, AB, And I'm going to put DeAndre Hopkins in there. He had a monster season, and we'll have another one with Deshaun Watson.
Love that. Great job, guys. Top 3 or nah? Kyle, kick this one off.
Okay.
Is Lamar Jackson a top 3 quarterback prospect? Where do you have him going in your mock draft?
I'm in the first round. I'm going to New Orleans Saints as a backup to Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. And if it so happens he returns kicks and does some other things and makes dynamic plays, it just so happens that way, too. I think Saints is a good fit for him. But his pro day is today, and Hugh Jackson was on with us yesterday, okay, and I asked him at the breakfast, and he said, we've looked at all the top 4 quarterbacks, the top 4 quarterbacks. It's like he's not even in the conversation for them, so it's very interesting. You're saying he's going to get top 3. What do you think?
Well, it's complicated. It always is with Lamar. Kate, you said the word prospect. I'm going to put this up because I truly think the potential of Lamar Jackson is higher easily. In fact, he's number 1. He has, I think, the number 1 potential. If I want to bring somebody at number 1 with Cleveland and a little safer, I can't blow this, no, because Lamar Jackson might not work out. But as a prospect, the highest ceiling, Lamar Jackson is not only in top 3, is top 1. Yes.
Yeah. And when you look at the last few months, he actually used these 2 paddles in his life. They said, you know what, we're going to need you to run routes at the combine. And he was like, nah, because I'm a top 3 prospect. And I agree. It's the potential. When you look at what he was able to do, and I broke down film when we were in Mount Laurel, his ability to see the pocket and when it's collapsing, step up in the pocket and not only just take off and run. We're familiar with the fact that he had more rushing yards than the last 2 years of Saquon Barkley, who I absolutely adore. But it's the fact that when he needs to anchor his feet and throw a long ball, he can do that too. So imagine him sitting behind a Drew Brees, or imagine him sitting behind a Tyrod Taylor or Ben Roethlisberger, whoever it may be. He's going to learn how to rein in the athletic ability. We forget the fact that Aaron Rodgers is extremely athletic. We forget the fact that Russell Wilson is extremely athletic, Cam Newton extremely athletic. When they step and stop their feet, that's when they become passers in this league. Lamar Jackson showed he's one of the best passers. There is no question that he's a top 3 prospect at the quarterback position in this draft.
Is he built like a Cam Newton, though? Because I put up that stat that I shared with you when you were in Orlando. You're like, that's a great stat about how he has more rushing yards, more rushing touchdowns than Saquon Barkley does over the past 2 seasons. And all of my responses were, can he hold up? Can he hold up on the field playing that way?
He's 6'3", 215. We got quarterbacks in this league that's 5'11", 6
Not
foot,
that
6
played
foot
maybe
1.
the way he
Baker
does.
Mayfield's about 5'11" and some change. And we're not talking about his height or weight. And they both won the Heisman.
I think as far as being a top prospect, though, they have to put that into the equation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is nothing against him. It's just that, is he going to be the better player? Yeah, of all the college players I saw last year, he was top 3. Prospect, just the way, and this is not me grading it, the way that people are talking about him.
And the translation of the game, what it is right now, which is evaluations.
The evaluations are that he is not considered one of the top 3 guys. That said, all it takes is one team. Tim Tebow wasn't considered one of the top 20 guys. He went 22nd overall. All it takes is one team to fall in love with Lamar Jackson. If the Dolphins at 11 are sitting there and they're like, you know what? Tannehill, we don't know. Let's go Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't be shocked if a team like that did that. So, yes, I'm saying as of now in the mock draft world, no. But could he be a top 3 player? Absolutely.
Looking at your mock draft, you have Sam Darnold going to the Browns at 1. You have him grabbing Saquon Barkley at number 4. And that's the first thing that stuck out to me is this Browns team is going to contend. Do I really know exactly how I feel about them? I don't. I don't know how you guys necessarily feel about the Browns going into the draft and into the season. So here's my top 3 or nah. The Browns will be a top 3 team